Hello, my name is Attorney Paul Chang, and this is another session of Ask the Attorney. I wanted to thank each and every one of you for being here today. Today's topic is about a very interesting issue, and that is one of prenuptial agreements. Prenuptial agreements are becoming more and more popular. They used to be very popular for those that have previously been divorced, but now prenuptial agreements are becoming very popular among those that are getting into their first marriage. Today's question comes from Cindy in San Marino, and Cindy says, "Dear Mr. Chang, I'm getting a divorce. I do not understand why I am being told by my attorney that the prenuptial agreement I signed with my husband is invalid. He is claiming that if he knew how wealthy I was, he would not have signed an agreement in the first place. My attorney says that the judge may throw out the agreement. I am totally confused. I paid an attorney to draft it, and my husband signed it willingly. Why should I have to pay for him? He cheated on me with my secretary, and now he wants to cheat me out of my money. Can you please help me?" Cindy in San Marino. Well, Cindy, what I wanted to say to you is that prenuptial agreements are like insurance. When an individual buys insurance, car insurance, health insurance, life insurance, the goal is not to use it, and that's the same thing as a prenuptial agreement. Essentially, our hope when we write a prenuptial agreement is that we'll never ever have to use it. Prenuptial agreements are like a contract. You know, it's very funny because a lot of attorneys basically say that even if you don't sign a prenuptial agreement, essentially you are signing a contract, and that is any appreciation within the community property or any property acquired during marriage is split 50-50. So no matter what, whether you have a prenuptial agreement or you don't, you are signing a contract of a 50-50 split. Well, just like a contract in regular civil law, a prenuptial agreement is looked at very carefully, and courts will have a tendency to adhere to the provisions of the prenuptial agreement as close as possible. There are some things, though, that I would like to make a suggestion on to keep a prenuptial agreement from getting thrown out. First of all, do not raise issues about children. Courts have a very negative attitude about prenuptial agreements that are written with children in mind. Child support, the way children are supposed to be raised, these are things that prenuptial agreements will not cover. The second thing is, have an attorney represent the other side. I've had many contracts that have come to me where the other side was not represented, and judges really have a negative stance toward it. That if the other side really was not represented, they really could not understand what they were signing away in terms of their own rights. Thirdly, give the person an additional 30 days to be able to review it. You know, the law basically states in terms of prenuptial agreements that you only need to give 7 days. My recommendation is that you give a total of 30 days after the final draft is given, so that an individual cannot say that they were coerced to sign an agreement that they didn't understand. Number 4, have it translated into a language that they understand. You know, many times you have people that come from different parts of the world, and they're presented with an agreement and they say sign here on the dotted line. Well, if they only speak Chinese or Spanish or some other language than English, and you're not translating it for them, how can you tell a judge that that individual signed the agreement willingly? Number 5, always favor disclosure over non-disclosure. I know this seems like a very obvious thing, but you'll be surprised that there are a lot of people that don't want to disclose a lot of things, and they want somebody else to give up their rights when they don't disclose anything. The argument is always going to be made, if I knew, I wouldn't have signed. So that's my recommendation for you. You know, one of the things that is always going to be argued is unconscionability. And what that means is that an individual would not have signed it had they known of all the information that was not given. So again, one of the issues that always every attorney needs to look at is the unconscionability provision. So again, favor disclosure over non-disclosure. I love premarital agreements. Premarital agreements or prenups or prenuptial agreements, however you want to call them, are awesome. They allow a judge to be able to make decisions right away on the issues that come before them, and then take other things that the prenuptial agreement didn't talk about and place them before the judge. However, again, there are specific requirements to prenuptial agreements that everybody should follow. And again, if you are going to do a prenuptial agreement, make sure that you adhere to my suggestions to prevent it from getting overturned. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.